So let's look at the process of building a wall. This is a plan of a garden in Dublin. You can see the boundary wall is a new wall. They sold some land and a new boundary wall needed to be built just along here, as you can see. So because it was a large wall on a sloping site, they used a digger and they stepped the foundation. Based on a soil test, an engineer specified the depth and the width of the foundation. So I think in this case the depth of the foundation was 500 mm and the width was 400 mm. Ready mixed concrete was used and the concrete was poured in level stepped platforms to a depth of 300 mm. For smaller walls you could mix with batch gravel and cement in a cement mixer or by hand. The concrete was allowed to cure for a couple of days and then the first layer of blocks was laid to bring it up to ground level. Standard cavity blocks were used as they are lighter and quicker to lay than solid blocks. They also use less mortar. Foundation is double the width of the wall itself. This is wide enough to cater for pillars at 3.5 to 4 meter intervals. Pillars are necessary for a wall of this length and height. The eventual height of this wall was 1.8 meters high. This is another job where we were cutting into the earth and creating split levels or terraces. The object of this project was to make the garden more accessible. A 5-ton digger was used to remove the earth quickly and easily. I think we removed about 5 truckloads of soil from this site, which is about 120 tons. We poured a concrete foundation of about 500 mm wide and 300 mm depth. The retaining walls and the steps were constructed of solid concrete blocks, and we employed a bricklayer to do the majority of this work. These walls were built with robust pillars to the rear so they wouldn't be seen. The walls then received a scratch coat and plaster. Drainage holes and trenches were incorporated. The steps and flat surfaces were then paved. So the overall result was a more usable garden, and this main terrace was a sheltered sunny spot, connected to the kitchen and the living areas of the house. It was also an intermediate level between the lower and the upper gardens. All of this was made possible by the design and construction of properly engineered retaining walls. So let's look in more detail at how to construct a foundation. I'm using computer software to demonstrate the process. The foundation is marked out to the specified length and width. It's then dug out to a specified depth, say 600 mm in this case. Pegs are then hammered into the ground at the bottom of the foundation. This peg is 450 mm high and 150 mm below ground level. This peg sets the height for the concrete that will be poured. Once the first peg is set at this height, all other pegs are set level with this one. A spirit level is used to set one peg from the other. Once all pegs are level, it's time to pour the concrete. The concrete should be poured level with the top of the pegs and tamped to remove air bubbles. In very hot or cold weather, the concrete should be covered. It should be allowed to cure for a couple of days before laying blocks, bricks or stone above it.